All right, welcome back to Rob Schmitt tonight. Congressman Pat Fallon joins us now to talk about the day's news, the updates in Ukraine. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for joining us. It's seeming like this is a bit messy for Putin now. It's not exactly what he was expecting. And we have this potential for this meeting between Zelensky and Putin that was talked about earlier today. I got excited about it because I'd love to see a way to prevent this from happening. Do you think that that could be an off-ramp? What do you think the chances are something could be worked out?
Well, Rob, thanks for having me on. I think that the Ukrainian people prove themselves to be the X factor. There's 44 million people in that country, and if they adopt the Israeli model, which is every citizen is a frontline soldier, Putin's in huge trouble. The bully's just going to get punched in the teeth, and that's what we're rooting for, obviously, as well. And just to hear those heart-wrenching, like the gal you just had on, and the the trauma they're going through, and yet they're being brave. I mean, bravery is overcoming your fear. You still have fear. And some of it's just been so inspiring, and it's very frustrating. I sense it with you as well, that Joe Biden didn't demonstrate more leadership, and he's been reactive and not proactive. I'm about to pull my hair out with this stuff.
Yeah, well, Joe Biden couldn't lead himself to the men's room, to be honest with you. Let's pull up a picture of a real leader. This is Volodymyr Zelensky. We've got an image right here, if we can pull it up, guys. I mean, when I saw this video, I loved. I mean, it's just like these guys are just, I mean, he said, I'm the #1 target. They want to come here. They want to kill me and my family. I've heard reports he's been offered a way to get out. He's not taking him. We saw his foreign minister come to the United States and then go back into Ukraine after they've been invaded. I mean, these guys have, balls. I shouldn't say that on TV, like few I've ever seen. And it's amazing to watch. You just hope that somehow this works out in their favor.
Rob, you got to remember that just a couple of generations ago, their grandparents fought off the Nazis, and they were occupied for a few years. I mean, the last person to lead an invasion into the Ukraine was named Adolf, and that's the company that Vladimir Putin is putting himself in. And for Joe Biden to drag his feet once again, we asked him to send lethal aid to the Ukrainians. I signed on to a letter back in October. He dragged his feet inexplicably. We don't know why. Why hasn't Russia been taken off SWIFT? If you act like a pariah, you should be treated as a pariah. North Korea and Iran are the only two countries that aren't in SWIFT, and Russia needs to be the third.
I mean, there's no explanation. I mean, when they asked him about it at the press conference, he said that everything that they were doing, you don't need SWIFT because of everything that we're doing. And then today, Wall Street Journal comes out and gets a good look at some of these sanctions and says, no, they're not doing enough. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I think Joe Biden thinks we're stupid, or we have mushy brains like maybe he does, because that was a completely false statement. We didn't do it nearly as much as we could have. And we have to demand also from our NATO allies. They agreed in 2006 to be spending 2% of their GDP on defense, and only 10 are and 20 aren't. Namely, like Germany, Italy, Spain, Canada, Belgium. It's time to step up to the plate, because it's not the fairy tale land. It's not Disneyland like they thought it was. It still is a very dangerous Russian bear, and they need to be armed, and they need to do their part and hold their weight.
Right. If nothing else, this week has made me despise NATO. I never thought much of it, but this week has made me loathe it, seeing the way that they behave with the negotiations and what they're going to do, the sanctions, and how they all want to carve out something to protect themselves from any biting sanctions. It's been disgusting to watch. As we can hear, I can hear gunfire in the picture that's coming from above you. Congressman, thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob.
God
bless.
We'll see you soon. God bless.